What I recall about my dad, he's been involved in agriculture his entire life. He's a third-generation agriculturalist. His father and mother were small raisin growers in Selma, California, and they had a dairy. That's where he grew up and went to high school. After he got out of high school and went to college, he was in the military for a short time, came back to the central San Joaquin Valley. He had kind of an agricultural entrepreneurial spirit.
I've known Vernal Amaro since 1948. He was one of 7 students in my very first class that I taught at Fresno State University, then known as Fresno State College. Vernal was a quiet, unassuming person, but very inquisitive. And he always asked the questions that would put the professor on the spot.
The driving factors for my father's desire to look into mechanical harvesting of crops was the problems that were associated from the labor issues during the 70s, the UFW, the Cesar Chavez movement. And you have to understand that he and his partner had nearly 70,000 acres of permanent planted crops in the central San Joaquin Valley. The difficulty was not so much in designing a machine that would harvest the crops. It was in that responsibility of being able to develop the crop and how the crop was pruned and trained to create a fruit wall that then he could design a mechanical harvester that could consistently harvest in the same location year after year and remove the majority of fruit.
John and I were working on trying to develop a system where we could dry raisins on the vine, as were several other people around the valley. It was 1997 when we had a system worked out. We converted our vines over to a flat top trellis system and started drying on the vine. It was at that time that John and Vernal began working on a harvester that would work in that trellis system that we had locked in on. The unique part about the harvester that Vernal and Johnny developed was the fact that it had a drive-through technology, which meant that common equipment that we had on our farm could be used along with this one piece of equipment, this one unique piece of equipment, to harvest the raisins once they were dried.
On a field trip to the largest vineyard of some 8,000 or 9,000 acres that Vernal developed along with his partner, Leland McCarthy, one of the students in this field trip asked him, well, why did you build such a big machine that would harvest 4 rows of wine grapes at one time? And he said, well, you have a deadline to meet by the winery, and we have 7 days to 2 weeks to pick this 8,000 acres, so we had to have the equipment big enough to where we can get the job done on time.
I think this is a well-deserved award because Vernal Amaro embodied everything that makes farming in the San Joaquin Valley work so well.
What he's given to the industry, not only in his equipment, but his ideas that would be carried on not only for the state, the United States, but accepted internationally.
I felt that it was a long time coming and that he was so shy and that he was not willing to go out and promote his accomplishments, that I didn't know if he would really ever get the gratification or get the recognition for the contributions that he's made to California agriculture.
Vernal Amaro was the kind of guy that you would do anything you could for. He was pragmatic, he was simple, he never took advantage of anyone. Good business was good for everyone, one where everyone got what they wanted out of the deal. He was open-minded, he was fair, he was honest, he was a hard worker.